Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carey. I just filmed another episode before this one, and my gosh, Frank the cat is driving me crazy. I had to keep stopping. It's like all choppy. I'm gonna have to edit the heck out of it because he's bouncing off of walls and knocking down boxes. In any event, yes, I have a cat and a dog. I had a dog and then she has separation anxiety, so I got her a cat, and now we have Frank as part of our family too. So today I wanted to talk about opening lines. Whether you are on the dating apps and need to say something to start a conversation with somebody, or you are feeling a draw or a connection to somebody you want to talk to when you're out and about, or this is a pickup line at a bar perhaps. I had some ideas about this and I wanted to share them with you. If you could make use of these, stick around because that's what's on the agenda today. Hopefully I've been giving you information and guidance enough that you will feel confident just to walk up to somebody and say, hi, that's such a pretty shirt, or I noticed you from across the bar, or my friends thought I should come over and talk to you, or you've got such a nice smile, it made me want to meet you. And just have the confidence to just walk up and truly be sincere with a compliment or a kind word and introduce yourself to meet somebody new. But if you still enjoy that flirtatious aspect of meeting somebody and you want to do a little something different, I'm hoping that the days of sidling up to somebody at the bar and saying, hey, what's your sign, are far, far behind us and just a joke from years gone by. But if that's something that you feel might work for you, don't do that. Instead, let's talk about some of the ways that this could really work to your benefit, things that will use your personality and your style, because you'll be saying it from your own perspective in your own way to truly just connect and meet with somebody that you're feeling you want to know. So I wanted to start because really your personality is going to go a long way meeting somebody in real life. But the dating apps are a new challenge to a lot of people, and they are a challenge indeed. So let's just talk about the first thing you say to somebody if you've matched with them on the dating apps. Hey, hi, how you doing? How's your week? Hey, beautiful. Good morning, beautiful. No, those are not the ones that are going to start something that's exciting or that somebody will be excited to respond to. Please, let's put a little bit of effort in to hope that this person will respond. If you walked up to some girl when you're out listening to some live music and just walked up and said, hey, you know, that's not going to engage her at all. And it's the same thing with dating apps. So instead, I encourage you to truly read their profile, look at their pictures. If you're making a profile on the dating apps, give somebody something to work with within your photographs. I have a client who's got this picture of himself with, I'm like, oh, maybe you could lose the one with the hat. He's like, no, everybody comments on the hat. That's my like conversation starter on the dating apps. And I'm like, oh, silly me. Of course I understand that. Keep the hat. The most important picture you have there. So it totally makes sense after I thought about it myself. He had so many pictures, we really had to get rid of a bunch of them. But if you have one that works for you and that gives somebody to latch onto and take notice of and have a funny comeback or make a joke about or just even ask you about why this or how did that happen, then by all means keep that picture on your profile or find one for yourself if you don't have one already. But when you're making the first move, going to contact this person with the first message, look through the pictures. There's gotta be something there that you can comment on. If it's super obvious and you're just like, she's got a monkey on her shoulder, and you're gonna be like, you know, monkey see, monkey do. What? I don't know what you're gonna say. But if you find something very, very quickly, look one more time. Just look a little deeper, because I can guarantee you that the first thing that pops in your head is probably the message that she gets most of the time. So if you can go to the second picture and notice that, holy cow, this one gives you something to comment on for sure, and something popped into your head, then go with your second instinct as opposed to the low-hanging fruit, right? And I think that will serve you well. But also, don't be afraid to actually read if she's written anything about herself or he has a little blurb or a paragraph about himself. Hopefully people are putting a little effort into these things to give you something to work with, as opposed to I'm just looking for this, or don't message me if you're looking for something casual, or those negative blurbs and prompts that are so common and a turn off. If you don't know how to create a profile for yourself or write a little something that will engage people and make them want to talk to you, I encourage you to look through some of the episodes that we've done on, there's a playlist called Swipe Life, and that's all the episodes where they're about swiping life, dating profiles, dating apps, and I'll put a link to that up here so you can check that out when you get a chance and see if anything there can be helpful to you. If there's something that this person wrote that creates a question in your head, or you wanted to know more about it initially, if you were with her, you'd certainly ask about it. If he gave you something in his profile that piqued your interest, by all means, use that as well. It's always a compliment to know that somebody actually read what you wrote, that they went on and looked at picture number 3. So use that to your advantage and skip the hey beautiful and ask a question or make a funny joke or a comment about something they said or something you saw in their photographs. That should take you pretty far in the dating app website world. And let me know how that's going for you in the comments down below. Now let's talk about IRL, in real life. In real life, you're really just trying to be sincere, be authentic, and avoid anything cringeworthy. I think if you can do those 3 things when you approach somebody, and I'm sure you've been practicing talking to strangers, because we have lots of episodes where I mention that if it's not something you're comfortable with, you should be talking to old people, you should be talking to young people, you should be talking to anybody you're not interested in dating prior to talking to people that are intriguing to you and you are attracted to, because it becomes much more second nature to you and much easier to drum up a conversation with people. Lots of episodes, so I'm not going to go too far into how to do that or what to talk about, but so many amazing conversations I've had with people out and about, making connections with humans, giving compliments, connecting out there in the world with people, that when you find somebody that you think is attractive, it shouldn't be that difficult if you're just yourself and you use your eyes. And if you have a favorite line, that's great. You can say to people, all right, I'll throw a couple at you. You know what? They could seem cheesy, but if you have the confidence and the sense of humor to pull them off, they can also be charming. So you know your personality and your comfort level just being silly, and whether people are going to read you correctly to know that you're being silly. I think that's sort of the key here. If people can read that you're kidding around and you're not thinking this is the best pickup line of all time, if they can read that cheese is inherent in a pickup line and you're well aware of that fact, I think you'll be fine with some of these funny lines. I know I had one in my phone I meant to tell you about. Let me check real quick. Oh yeah, the one I wrote down in here was great for the dating apps. And it was, I'm going to Whole Foods. Do you need anything? If you don't have the time to look through their pictures and their profile and you just want something to lead in with and that's going to catch their attention, I'm sure everybody's not using this. It'll just be, the 3,000 or so of you. I'm going to Whole Foods. Do you need anything? When you wake up and you open your app and you see that, you're going to have to smile for sure. All right, here's a couple of them. Are they called fireflies or lightning bugs? That's another one you can use on the dating apps. And when you meet somebody in person, how about this? Titanic. That's my icebreaker. Did it work? How you feel? And you make sure you laugh. Show you have a sense of humor, that you're being silly. Couple more for you? Sure. There's something wrong with my phone. It doesn't have your number in it. And then hand them your phone. Hold out your phone. See if they say, okay, you got me there. I saw some great little videos on Instagram of a guy who went out and was just talking to people and starting conversations with women. And because he was just so sincere and kind, and you could tell he had a sense of humor, he was killing it out there with silly little lines like this. So if you think it'll work for you, use them. If you don't think they will, practice them in the mirror or on a friend until they work for you. And make sure, I know you guys give me a hard time, some of you saying that people will think you're a stalker or call the police on you. So I'm saying read the room. If this is just somebody you saw, you're not sure if she's with somebody or if her husband's at the bar getting a drink or in the restroom while she's sitting at the sushi bar by herself, give it a little time so that you read the room accurately. Make sure perhaps that you've made a connection with this person in a way that there's eye contact, that she held your gaze a little bit longer than normal so that you know she's interested. Approach. If you are approaching somebody and they start turning away, make sure you're checking in on body language. If you're looking at somebody and they turn away from you, or you're approaching, scooch closer to their friend, you've got to be aware of all these things. But if this is a person and you're feeling that perhaps there is some connection here, a little chemistry between us across the room, or she's watched you as you're perusing through the men's aisle looking for a new sweater and she's in housewares, and you're kind of keep eyeing each other as you move through the store, you want to say something, that's when you try these lines. Do you believe in love at first sight, or should I walk by again? If you're sitting down, I'm not actually this tall, I'm sitting on my wallet. I think you really need to also keep in mind that you don't want anything too forward sexually, or a comment on someone's physicality or how hot they are or anything like that. Those don't usually bode well. It's a little too forward, too soon in today's climate, right? So be aware of that. You're not going to want to make anybody feel uncomfortable commenting on the way they look. But to make fun of yourself, or how they stopped you in your tracks and you had to say hello, those are the kinds of things that are going to work and not offend anybody or frighten them because you're being too forward. And then I'll just end with my favorite, which is, but do you have a puppy? Which you can use online or in person. Meaning, you seem to have everything, but do you have a puppy? I encourage you to make sure that you're saying things that align very well with who you are, your sensitivities, your sense of humor, and your personality. If you don't know yourself yet, then dating is probably going to be the next step on your to-do list, because being comfortable with yourself in social situations takes practice, and it takes an awareness of your own personal vibe on people. So practice with a friend. Get out there and talk to old people and see if they find you charming. And if you say funny things to old people, do they laugh or look at you strangely? You might have to work on your delivery if you're getting the strange looks. And better to be doing that with people you're not hoping to get a phone number or a date from, right? I hope you found some of these cute and or helpful, or they inspired you to go look for some opening lines that will work well for you and who you are and how you come across, because that's key. Give the episode a thumbs up if you would, and subscribe so that we can hang out again sometime soon. I'll look forward to seeing you back next time, and until then, have a good one. There's only one thing I would change about you: your last name. My friends bet me that I wouldn't be able to start a conversation with the prettiest girl in the bar, most attractive man at the bar. Can I buy you a drink with their money? Hi, I'm Mr. Right. Somebody said you were looking for me. So use that to your advantage and skip the hey beautiful and